Hey guys, Andy here. So every now and then I give you a little view of whatever game I'm playing really, I suppose. And I don't know, I kind of resisted temptation, I suppose, in some ways, or just didn't even particularly like the look of, for a fair old while, Playerunknown Battlegrounds, otherwise known as PUBG. But a week or so back, a friend kind of talked me into, come on, play it with us, give it a go. So I bought it. I think it was $26.99 on Steam, so not crazy money. It is, technically it's in early access at the moment as well. It's not even officially out, I suppose. Well, I mean, it's out, but it is early access, so it's not had its proper full release. So what is PUBG? Essentially, 100 people get thrown onto an island, and it's the last man standing wins, is basically the idea. You can team up in sort of a pair or in squads. In this instance, I'm playing on my own, and I'm waiting patiently in the thought that someone might be coming down the road in a vehicle. I should point out right away, you need to be patient to play this game. It's not necessarily a high-paced game. You can spend 5, 6, 7 or minutes or more entirely on your own and then take a bullet in the back of the head having no idea where it's come from. You just kind of accept that. And if you're the sort of person that doesn't like Counter-Strike because you have to sit waiting for the round to end, you're not going to enjoy PUBG. Now, the next sort of ingredient into the mixture is the circle. So you might have seen the map come up a couple of times there with me marked on it. And I'm inside the white circle, which is fine. That's the sort of the safe area. If it pops up again, you'll see there's a blue circle, which is actually sort of encroaching gas, which is making its way towards the white circle. So you see there it says restricting the player area in 1 minute. So in 1 minute time, that blue circle is going to start moving in towards the white circle. If you're caught outside of the blue circle, you're going to start taking damage. As you go through the game, more people die. There you go, there you see it. The white circle is going to get smaller and smaller. It will always be within the previous white circle. So basically all the players are going to be sort of gradually focused down to this one particular point. Well, I say all the players, by that point, as it gets smaller, there's normally only kind of 20 or 30 left. And that, if you can survive that far, that's when things start getting really tense. But I'm getting a little bit ahead of things, because actually I'm laying there for like 4 or 5 minutes of footage that you just don't need to see. No one ever even comes. I don't get a kill or nothing. And that's what I mean about how you've got to be patient. So let's just kind of rewind a little bit to how you start a game. In this case, I'm playing with my friend. We're in the EU server look, and we're playing duo first-person perspective. So you can play obviously single, duo, or squadded, and you can either be third person or first person. For me, first person is the right way to go. It's how it's how games should be. And we're going to start off on a little island, kind of in the corner of the map, miles away from anything. Everybody's on there. You're sort of waiting for a plane, I suppose, because then a plane is going to just, and it's just like a random trajectory, is going to fly across the map with everybody on board, and you're going to pick out where you want to try and land. This is where you have your first big choice. You think, do you go for a less populated area that's not got as much loot, or do you go for the place that got the great loot, basically? But that obviously means there's going to be a lot of people going there to get the great loot. So you're either playing sort of the long, slower game, or you can bail into, in this case, the military area for the much faster paced, and just pray to God that you can get to a gun in time to defend yourself. So in this instance, you can see perhaps what I mean. If you hold down your Alt, you get to look around, and there's a lot of people parachuting in where me and my partner are parachuting in. So we decide in this instance to head over to the radar array. So most of them seem, if not all of them, seem to go into the buildings, but you can get some pretty good loot on the radar array over the top. So we figure, okay, that might be the safer way. And then I'm going to quieten down for a moment, just to kind of hear the game in action, because it's almost also one of my highlights. So let's listen in on that.
You have blast it.
There is a shotgun up here as well.
Where is the US? I can't see it.
It's inside the warehouse.
Always we have to
Oh,
charge.
there's like 3 people flying out on the roof.
I can see one running around in there.
I'm gonna watch the other side.
Oh, I hit one.
I can see. As soon as the driver,
Oh, you
I've
killed
only
him!
killed him with a pistol.
as soon as the driver gets back in, I'm
Skybridge.
shooting.
That
I've
is
got eyes on the driver's seat.
So as you can see, it's pretty hectic initially, just like praying to God you can find a half-decent weapon to defend yourself with, or in that case, try and pick people off. Because obviously the bottom line is you're trying to kill everyone else so that you're the last man standing, or in this case, the last two people standing. So the next thing I'll show you is when you're in a team of any kind, be it a duo or a squad, and you will find yourself getting caught on things on the ground from time to time. In fact, it caused me to die at one point. We'll see that shortly. And you also saw the different way of looting. I'll come to that in a second. So every now and then, a plane flies over the top and drops a care package. In this instance, we were very near to the care package. We thought, well, let's go and have a look, let's go and see, because apparently it has very good loot in it. At the same time, obviously, it's got a big old sort of smoke flare coming off of it. Anyone nearby might have the same idea. So I decided, well, okay, I'll sort of. You can see I'm trying to keep my eyes peeled for anyone else that might be running for it, using the Alt key again, being able to look around. But I thought, well, I'll come up at a slightly different angle to my teammates, so that hopefully, if there's people there, we can deal with it. So once again, I'm going to shut up for a moment just so we can enjoy another of my highlights.
M16. There's two guys on the crate. I've hit the one in the. No, I've hit the one behind the crate real bad. Well played, my friend. Nice.
So I'm going to edit out the bit there where I didn't realise I killed both of them. And I was throwing grenades and stuff. And this is where you can run over, you can revive your teammate. If they manage to shoot your teammate while he's kind of crawling around on the ground, almost incapacitated, he's actually dead. But luckily I managed to get the two of them before they could and was able to revive my teammate. So then we move on to the looting bit. So this is me stood next to the crate and over the dead guy's body, basically. And you press tab, and on the left line there you can see all the stuff that's on the floor. The next line in is the stuff that's in my bag, and then there's me, and then there's my weapons. So you can right-click things to pick them up or drag them onto different weapons or whatever you want to do. It took me a little while to kind of understand what was happening, because you can basically just swap things in and out, like the bags or your armour. And you see some armour there has gone red. That must be the guy that I shot, because basically I messed up his body armour, so you don't want to be taking that. You need to know, well, you need to just check which ammo is needed for your different weapons. You can see there the sort of the mil sizes, and you need to make sure obviously you're taking them, and certain attachments only fit on certain guns. The bits highlight on the gun, if you can see, when I hover over attachment, you can see if it would fit on the gun that you use. So it took me a little while to get used to sort of looting, but you need to be as quick as you can, because you don't want to get caught in this screen when someone else starts shooting at you, really. I'm just going to show you another example of the revive, kind of, I suppose, an example where you need to be as near to your teammate as possible to make sure that you can keep each other alive, really. So again, I'm going to shut up and we'll watch some gameplay.
Ow! Oh my god. Oh my god, he just shot me.
Sorry, you're on the roof of the building, aren't
you? Yeah, I'm on the roof, yeah.
Are you proper dead, or?
Not quite yet. He's trying to. And the guy on the other guy on the very first building is trying to shoot me as well.
What can I do? I'm right behind you. Can you come backwards? Come backwards. I've got the door open.
Oh, you got the door open. Ah, god. God damn it.
Just try and close the door. Right, how do I... Oh, you got a fucking arrow in your back. What do I press? Right, F. Hold on, let's do that. That's quite cool. You've lifted an arrow sticking in your back.
I'm big crossbowed. Oh yeah, love it.
So you might notice actually I almost died. If I'd gone down in the incapacitated manner, we'd both have just been dead and out of the game. Luckily I managed to get the door closed without him hitting me again. So, you know, great bit of sort of showing the team. I should point out Dan is much better than me, just so happens I'm showing a couple of examples where I've been able to revive him. So I'm going to show you how the circle can give you some problems sometimes. I'm quite late on in the game here. As you can see in the top right, there's only 10 left alive. And I'd heard this vehicle coming. Sound is very important in the game. You do hear, even people next door to you running around, you can hear their footsteps quite clearly. So you need to have like some good headphones just to sort of help track where they are. You see also there I'm changing modes. You've got full auto and burst mode, and some of them are single fire. But basically I thought I'd try and wait this guy out. He's in kind of a bit of an outhouse, and you might be able to see the shimmering wall coming in, which is the circle closing. And at this point, I'm actually outside and it's overtaken me. And I'm going to die because then I can't jump over this wall. And I was literally only a few meters away, and I didn't realise how much quicker it moves when you're near the end of the game, basically. And how much more damage it does to you as well. I probably should have stopped and tried to heal and then tried to run on again. Alternatively, I should have just got out of that house quicker and got into the next white circle. I could have then just prepared for whoever was left, which I think if I'd survived, it would only been maybe 5 of us. I mean, it was still my best round that I've ever had. Got down to to be number 7 with a couple of kills. So I think I've covered generally what goes on in the game. Hopefully I've not missed anything out too much that's too important. And I've given you a bit of a flavour for things. I must stress how the pace of the game, especially initially and depending where you parachute into, it can be quite slow. And I think this is why I'd heard a lot of people saying, oh, PUBG's overrated. You know, some people love in PUBG, others, oh, it's overrated, I don't like it. So I think it's quite a Marmite game because of, so this clip that we're watching now, I've got about 5 minutes of generally just me running, trying to keep up with my teammates in this case. And you can do that. You can run for like 8 minutes and then just get shot in the head and you don't know where from, and it can be a little frustrating. But you know, especially if you're chasing that white circle, the place you choose to parachute into, and then the white circle appears and it's miles away and you can't find a vehicle, because there are vehicles. Actually, I've not shown you them, but there are vehicles. You can get about in vehicles, but again, you are a bit of a target like that. I could hear that guy coming earlier, so they're a bit of a gamble. As is running through big open fields like this, because you're going to get picked off at times. So you need to go into the game being aware that this is the pace. It really does pick up, and there's not many games that kind of get my adrenaline going, but actually get down to, so one of these ones when there was the 4 of us, we did get down to the last, I think it was us and like 3 or 4 others. Unfortunately, we didn't win, but it really gets quite tense when it gets, you know, you've been playing for that long and you've got a chance of winning. And I haven't yet won a game, but you know, maybe it's going to happen. Maybe it's going to happen. I should also point out, I'm not sure it's particularly well optimized. There's quite a lot of comments on that. You do need a reasonably powerful machine. I just dropped all the graphic settings down to pretty much low or lowest. That's what you're seeing at this point, to keep my frame rate up at about 80. When I started the game and it was yeah, everything was on kind of high, for me it was just too laggy to play. I couldn't swing around and shoot at people. I was waiting for the machine to catch up with me. So be aware of that as well. You need a reasonably powerful machine. But as I say, I think I've covered everything. Let me know in the comments down below if you want to know anything else. Not that I'm an expert. I've been playing for 2 or 3 days myself, but you know, it is a great game. I'm really enjoying it. I can see how people kind of get sucked into it. I just want to keep playing and keep trying to get further and further. It's just one of those sort of decent challenges. So there you go. This is Playerunknown Battlegrounds, otherwise known as PUBG. My name's Andy. I'll catch you all again soon. You made it all the way to the end. Well done. So thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please do subscribe by clicking the little fella over on this side of the screen. You might also want to check out the other videos. Should be just there. Check out my website as well, androidandy.uk, made by me. I'm learning HTML and PHP, so hopefully it's functional. But I'll see you again in the next video.